as we get to know each other, that'll definitely play a very large factor, if not the largest factor in who's going.
The camera person.
That's all I got. Anyone got anything else before Matt gives his amazing presentation?
Dude, don't set the bar that high.
No pressure.
You said it for yourself. You said it was awesome.
Damn it. Wait, I did?
Earlier. You said it was going to be awesome before you made it.
Shit, I shouldn't have said that.
All right, ready?
Are we doing that now, or are we doing X&A first?
We can do Action A first, but
I don't give a shit. I mean, I don't care.
Think about
I was figuring we'd do yours first, so if anyone is not interested in doing
Yeah,
the
there's
summer.
there's a little overview on what X&A is.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, dude, that thing's freaking loud. That's for all the shadow.
I got you.
That's pretty good. Can you work this thing?
Start from the beginning.
There we go. Wish it a little quicker. Is this what makes it go to the next slide? Alright, so as it says, this is the technology overview. Generally, this is kind of giving the intro of like what technologies we use in the industry. First off, I'd like to say that I'm not an expert. Like, this is just kind of stuff I've found over like the last couple of years of being interested in this stuff. Some of the stuff took me a little while to accumulate information on. It's not something like that you can just go Google and you'll find all the information on this stuff. Hopefully it'll be valuable to you guys. If you have any like comments or questions, I would really like you guys to participate, because I'm not like big on public speaking, so like help me out a little bit. Alright, so if you're wondering what game development is, it is a pretty generic term. I mean, if everybody knows what MUDs are, like those are text-based games. There's really no graphics involved in them. Some people like them better than graphical games. But games can range from MUDs, which are just console games, which anybody here can probably write if you have any experience programming. And that can be one guy, just writing a MUD, as opposed to a company who has hundreds of employees, sometimes thousands of employees, working on games and over $100 million budgets to make an entire vast new virtual world. So that's kind of like the spectrum of levels of game development. Alright, as for the people who are involved in it, as it says here, as we've mentioned before, there's writers, artists, producers. Obviously you have programmers with the underlying technology. Most of what you see is done by the artists, actually. You have sound guys who are working with voices, sound effects, ambient music, stuff like that, kind of set the mood of the game. What this means is anybody, no matter what your skill level, no matter like what major you are, can participate in game development. Whatever you're good at, you can find a spot to put it in the game. All right. I got a lot of cool picture prices here in case anybody wants to look in. All right. Another pretty generic term, game technology. Technologies, it sounds a lot cooler than really what it is. I mean, it is really cool, but you've probably written some form of technology in the fact that you can write a couple classes to support maybe a little text game of like ogres and pterodactyls, I don't know. And it can range from that to an entire cumulative, collaborative game engine that supports rendering, networking, modeling, scripting wrappers, so that game designers can expand the game. You have physics, AI, memory management. There's thread management generally. Some of these game engines, because they're so large and so useful, and they can produce so much revenue, they'll cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. The next slide should show you, no, not this one. We'll go over like what some of the most popular game engines are. Probably in the next slide. All right. Go to the next slide. This is Wikipedia's official definition of game engine. So, like, if you hear that term flying around a lot, game engine, I first started hearing that when I was getting into game development, and I thought it was cool, so I'd like go around saying, like, game engine. But like, it was hard to really grasp what a game engine was at first. It took a little bit of time getting into it. Really what it is it can be almost anything you want it to be. But if you're looking at like the most high-end game engines, they'll have physics coding already done to where you can just call some easier classes and methods, and things will be already done for you. There's rendering engines inside of game engines that takes care of all the graphics. You can just load in mesh files, objects that artists create. You can put them in the world, and then you can have game designers go in and they can script the world. They can make it as big as they want. They don't have to worry about graphics programming. They don't have to worry about networking. It all just works. That's generally what you want to get out of a game engine. The programmer kind of wants to take a step back after the engine's done. You want to separate yourself from the project after that, and hand it over to some more creative people who can make the game look good. As John Carmack says, who's like one of the best game engine writer in the world, he tries to create a canvas for people who are more artistic than he is. He takes pride in the fact that he can write software that other people can use very easily and create really fast, really large games that make a lot of money. Like, he takes pride in that as a software engineer. All right, these are the top 3 game engines across the board. Generally, these are the underlying technologies behind the AAA games, whether it be from shooters to RPGs to MMOs. Unreal Engine, or the UDK, the Unreal Development Kit, is probably the best one out there. These are some of the games that it powers. And we might be having it's free to use, at least if you don't want to sell your game. You can use it for free, you can learn it for free. And most game companies, a lot of game companies, as you can see here, big game companies use UDK, and they like people to know UDK when they're coming in. So we might be having a workshop on UDK. These two, however, we can't learn right now. A lot of MMOs and persistent worlds, I don't know if you guys know what those are, but non-instance games, they'll be run with Gamebryo. It's more fit for that kind of game. So a lot of MMOs, a lot of network games, the Elder Scrolls series, which is large worlds, no instancing, those kind of games are more fit for the Gamebryo engine. So as you can see, it's not like a linear like game engine, what's better, what's not. There are game engines that are suited for better games, depending on what you want to make. So one of the main decisions that you're going to make when you go into game development, at least if you're already on a dev team, is what are we going to do? Are we going to write our own game engine, which is going to take you a substantially more amount of time. It's going to take a lot of talent, a lot of hard work to write your own game engine. And it's probably not going to be as good as the ones that are